What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Now, before we get to Steve's interview, this is his deck list that he used to get top 8 at Ohio State. And as you see, it is a Keldeo Blastoise deck. I know this blue card is supposed to be a Keldeo. He is hiding for some reason. I guess he's camera shy. But basically, this deck revolves around a turn 1 Archie's ace in the hole. And basically, you just put a Blastoise out turn 1. And you just start to load up a big Keldeo and start just one-shotting Pokemon with Secret Sword. And basically, that's the concept of the deck. And there's weird cards in here, like the town map, the 4 Acrobikes, and 1 Rough Seas. And of course, I asked about the 1 Rough Seas, and asked about the 2 Blastoise too, because it seems kind of low, but he gives a really good answer why he plays 2. But hopefully you enjoyed the interview, and thanks for watching. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today we do another states question and answer video, and what's your name?
Steve Guthrie.
And where are you from?
Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, and what states are we talking about today?
It would be Ohio.
Okay. And I know you play the Keldeo Blastoise deck for the tournament. So how'd you end up doing for Swiss?
6-1-1. The draw was an ID.
Okay. And what were the decks that you played against, and did you win or lose against them?
All right, I'm going to go through these round by round because I believe I actually never played the same deck more than once.
Okay.
It was, let's see, round 1 was Mega Gardevoir. I 2-0'd. I guess I'll get to that statistics here in a bit. Round 2 was, I remember really, that was round 3. Round 2 was Victini EX with the Kyogre, the Primal Kyogre.
Mm-hmm.
3 was Night March. Those were all wins. Round 4, I played against Natalie Champagne, and she was playing Virizion Genesect. That was my 1 loss. I took her to game 3, and I made a misplay early. I had 2 Acrobikes, and I didn't have the compressor, and I computer searched before playing the Acrobikes. And if I did it the other way around, there was at least a chance I could have had a T1 Blastoise, but because I just made that boneheaded move, I was like, well, more of those would come on day 2. But let's see, round 5 I played against Eviltal, Seismitoad, Garbodor. That was actually Trey Reese. Round 6, I played against the. Oh God, I'm gonna feel really stupid now for not remembering his name because he actually friended Justin Titus, I think.
Okay.
He was playing basically Batman, Manectric, Crobat. He ran like a couple of Mewtwo's and some Toads. That was a win as well as the one against Trey, and then I won against Mega Manectric, Black Hiram, Black Ballista in the 7th round. So that put me at 6-1, and I got matched up against Corey Scott. We were both X1 in round 8, so we just ID'd after doing the math because I don't ID with anything less than a 100% guarantee.
Well, that's true.
I mean, if it's mathematically possible that 9 people could have finished with X1 or better, then I would have played it.
Yeah, I can understand that. You never want to take the chance.
No, I really don't.
Yeah. All right. So going to top 8, are you excited? Are you nervous?
I would say both. I guess the main reason I was nervous is because Corey Scott, the guy who I got paired up against in round 8, we ID'd, was actually, I didn't know what he was playing at the time when we ID'd, and afterward I found out what he was playing because he just pretty much outright told me, and I got kind of freaked out because he was playing Metacham with Halucha and the thing that swings twice. Yeah, I'm looking at that like that's a bunch of 1-prize attackers that are dealing potentially OHKOs, and I'm running off EXs, so yeah. That's a horrendous matchup. And but at the same time, I was excited because I was like, well, I already have my invite, but I'm playing this Archie's Blastoise deck for fun. Like I didn't plan on making cuts, so when I made it, I was like, heck yeah, like this is sweet. Yeah. So I had to, of course, find a place to stay overnight then, and I was like, okay, happy accident, yep. But I can't complain.
Was it hard to find a place to stay?
No, actually, one of the judges is one of our local players, Brad Wires. He also played the same deck as me at the Kentucky State Championship, and he made cut with it. But when he saw me doing as well as I did, he said, "Let me know if you need a place to stay." So they didn't even like charge me or anything for a section in the room. They're just like, well, we're just going to make you like teach our son like how to play expanded format this summer because he's in the juniors division. So I'm like, that's cool with me. I mean, hey,
I'll take it for a room. Yeah. So going to top 8, what happened?
Pretty much what I expected to happen. You can actually, there's no sound to it, but someone did upload the top 8 match between Corey and myself onto YouTube, but like I said, there's no sound. I made a couple of fatal misplays. Like game one, I thought I had an Archie in the discard pile, and I emptied out my hand and Verse Seeker, and then I was like, oh, it's not there, and I realized the reason I had seen it is because it was in the prizes flipped face up because of town map, and so at that point I knew I had lost, but I played it out because I was like, we have 75 minutes, and he's going to kill me in like 2 turns anyway.
Yeah.
And then game 2, I just did not draw. I tried to bait him into ending me, but by not drawing a mulligan, because I've psyched some people out by doing that. Something like that. I remember I tried to bait him out, and he just didn't fall for it, and then I was like, well, all right, I'm going to try, but it's not working.
All right, well, still top 8's very good, so congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So, why did you decide to play this Keldeo Blastoise deck?
Okay, this is actually my favorite part of the deck, probably is explaining how it came to be, I built this deck as a joke on Pokemon Trading Card Game Online because Carl Shu said to me, and a little shout out to Carl there, he said to me around the time, I don't remember if it was when Primal Clash leaked or whatever, like the Japanese ones, or when it came out, like maybe there was the English pre-release, but at one point back, he said to me, I'm going to try endless days and nights to make this Archie thing work with Blastoise, and I'm going to fail at it. And so I just kind of chuckled, and I messaged him after a little bit, and I was like, did you ever try that? What happened? And he's like, no, I didn't. So I was like, all right, screw it. I'm bored. I went online, and I built it, and I won like 7 consecutive games with it before I lost. So I messaged him, and I was like, dude, I think I broke Archie's Blastoise. And I really hadn't. Like, the primitive list was not good at all. I still ran the Squirtles, the Candies, and it was kind of ick. But I streamlined it a bit. I kind of modeled the engine after the Flareon deck that won Florida. I think it was Florida.
Yeah,
I don't know. My brain is still a little scrambled up here. But I kind of modeled it after that. I just felt like, that kind of speed engine, you run quad compressor, you run like quad acrobite, quad bicycle, and you just have all these like quad ultra ball instead of dive ball to get your hand down to 0 so that you can play the Archie. Some sophisticated superior energy retrieval plays involving exactly 1 water energy in your discard pile. I've been screwed by having a second one more than once. I'll put that down. Yeah. Turns out 2 teardrops are not better than 1. Or in this case, 2 water energies. But, hashtag bad joke of the day, sorry. No, really, it was just a thing I built because Carl said he was going to do it, and he never actually, like, brought it out into the limelight. Later on, he said he tried it, and it didn't work out. Like, I don't know. I mean, I believe him, but I was playtesting it for a while, and I already had my invite, so I was like, I'm just going to go play a fun deck.
Yeah.
And because when I play it online, people get really mad when I get the T1 Archie. They don't realize that happens more than 50% of the time. And it's just like, how did you do that? And it's like, it happens, dude. It happens a lot. And like I said, it's a fun deck, and it's the definition of a fun deck for me because it's fun. It's not meant to, like counter the meta or something. Like, obviously, Seismitoad is problematic.
Yeah. And
Seismitoad is very popular. I got very fortunate with my pairings. I mean, the Megas don't really bother me. I've stacked my Keldeos up to 8 energies many a time. But it's just a deck I play just to have a good time.
Okay. I want to talk about the list just a little bit. Now,
yeah, definitely.
You only played the 2 Blastoises. Did you ever want like a 3rd one, or was the 2 enough?
I would say there was one instance where I wanted a 3rd one. Maybe because if you get one prize, then you don't get the town map. But the only time I ever definitively found myself really regretting only running 2 was the time that I prized both of them. That was online, though. So I guess in terms of the tournament, I really can't say I ever wanted 3. But the second I prized both of them, or both Archies, yes, I want a 3rd one. Because I know that's a risk where if I run that and I prize both of either one of those cards, I basically lose automatically.
True. Alright, so you only ran the 1 Rough Seas. Why was that?
That actually wasn't even in the deck to begin with. Rough Seas was... the Rough Seas and the Escape Rope were 2 switches when I played the deck at Kentucky, And really, it's just the Rough Seas is a one-of. It's a card that you could just drop out of your hand right away to drop your hand count down to use Archie, so you don't get stuck with maybe even that one measly card that just completely just screws the entire deck.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a one-of, because if you play more than one and you draw two at the same time, then you need like an Ultra Ball or something. Whereas this way you really don't.
Okay.
Same goes with the Escape Rope. It's just more utility over Switch. It's like, well, I don't even need to have a bench Pokemon if my opponent has one.
Okay. Now, why did you decide to play any Super Scoop Ups in the deck?
That was actually a card I considered. Much in the same vein as Escape Rope and Switch. It's like Super Scoop Up is like you get the healing ability. Again, though, I'm just kind of looking at just straight aggro. Like, that's very much the way I play this game, is just kill and not think twice about it. Like, I'm reckless with my Sycamores, for example, but Super Scoop Up was something I thought about playing, but I just didn't like the fact that I could conceivably donk myself if I had to get that out of the hand in order to be able to play an Archie, whereas I'd rather just be able to play a card and just Archie and go ham. And if I give up a couple prizes, that's just one of those risks I take. It's like, it's high risk, high reward.
Okay, that's very true. Now, did you ever have any cool teammates play during the tournament?
Teammates. Oh, yeah. No. Teammates is fun. Oh, no, that card will single-handedly, like, when my opponent's trying to claw back or is trying to, like, stay on an even course, that's the card that more than often puts it away, because they knock out a Keldeo with, like, my round 6 opponent, who made top 8 as well, did that twice with a Mewtwo with his bats, where he would bat 10 damage or Muscle Band, and then hit double colorless onto his Mewtwo and X-Ball me for the knockout. Because 6 energy stacked on my Keldeo I'm just asking for an X-Ball there. And what happened the second time he did it was I Versus Secret for the teammates, which I had compressed out on turn 1, and went and grabbed 2 Superior Energy Retrievals, and I had a Bicycle waiting in hand and double execute in the discard pile. So I was just completely set. I was like, well, I could play 1 Superior here, have 1 left in hand, Bicycle, hit the other 2 energies, and then still have a Superior saying, come at me. And at that point, that gives me the option to also, like, if I'm worried that they're going to KO me again, to charge up the Blastoise for a 1-prizer. Only ever did that in 1 game, though, and I believe that was against Corey in top 8. But no, the teammates, more often than not, I pull double Superior from the deck with it, or something along those lines, usually to just say, unless you have an N, and I have 3 or more prizes, I probably just won right here. It's basically says I can kill anything.
Okay. Now, what would you say the deck's worst, I guess, its worst counter is? Like, what was the deck that could beat it every time, you think?
I think there's a number of decks that could beat it, and I don't mean to sound conceited when I say this, but I think that if it goes off on turn 1, you win against just about anything in the format. Mm-hmm. Silent Lab definitely forces more thinking, and I know the guy who won the whole thing, I think his name was Mike. It was Michael Livingston. He was playing Seismitoad, Crobat, Silent Lab, and that's the deck that knocked me out on the bubble in Kentucky. Again, like, if I go off on turn 1, I can put enough energy on the board. I just have to remember that I can't use Rushing. So, like, retreating, like, if my Blastoise gets Lysander, that does become a problem. But otherwise, it's not really that big of a deal. Virizion Genesect, again, Natalie beat me 2-1 with that. The weakness is definitely a factor. However, before my match with Natalie, honestly, I had only ever lost 1 game out of like 7 or 8 with this deck against Virizion Genesect, because usually they run out of energy before I do. You're just exchanging OHKOs. Natalie played it a little better, I think, than some of the opponents I'd come up against. No slight of insult to any of them, just a nod to her, because she played a great deck and she did a great job. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, like, Seismitoad in general, I feel like can give me problems, because if they play heavy hammers, then I have to manually charge a Keldeo or a Mewtwo, and if I can't do that because of Crushing Hammer, that can be a problem. Also, obviously, Garbodor, because that just takes away Blastoise and kind of forces the same issue. And any deck that doesn't let me get my Blastoise set up. If that happens, I cry.
Okay. So after playing this tournament, would you make any changes to the deck, or you think the list is pretty solid?
In the current format, Going only up through Primal Clash, I would say that I would leave it as is. I can see the reasoning for maybe a couple different cards to be included. That said, the only things I would really cut would be like the Rough Seas or the escape rope maybe. I'm a little on the edge with the town map. I think the rest of it is pretty much set the way it is. Like, it's tough for me to really make a change, but with the new set, there definitely will be a couple of changes.
Okay. So, how many championship points are you at currently?
Trying to remember. I looked it up earlier. I think it's like 377 or something right now.
Okay. And are you going for like a goal, or are you just like sky's the limit kind of thing?
I mean, I don't really have that. Like, if I had more things to like more space to kind of fill up, then I would definitely try to go for a stipend or something. I mean, if it happens off, like, I don't know if nationals applies to anything or not. Like, I mean, my mind is just not really at that point right now. But otherwise, I mean, I would just say that really just kind of having fun. I mean, I've already got my world's trip planned. I have cousins that live out in that area, so I'm gonna go hopefully visit them and.
Okay.
And I'm focused on my son, who's going to be born here within the next month.
Oh, okay. Congratulations.
Thank you. So my mind's not really on stipends right now or anything like that. When I got my invite, I was just like, I'm going to go have fun for the rest of the season now, do my YouTube channel and all that stuff. So
Yeah. Now, are you going to any of the regionals coming up here?
Given my wife's pregnancy, I'm guessing the answer is going to be no. If my son is born sooner, it is conceivably possible that I could go to, like, Wisconsin, I think is the very last weekend, and we'll have what is it, Roaring Skies legal. So I'm not going to say there's a 100% chance that I don't play, but I mean, I would have to be able to afford to go, as you know, I'm prioritizing nationals and worlds ahead of it, obviously, and then again, I would also, like, have to have the time available and all that stuff. So there's a lot of things that would have to kind of fall into place for me to go to regionals in the spring. More than likely, I'm going to have someone go and get me one of those Aegis/Slash promos. Count me on that if I'm wrong on the regionals promo, but the way these things are falling, it's going to be an Aegis/Slash of sorts.
Yeah, that's true. So, if you were to go to regionals, do you think Blastoise Keldeo will survive and be good at the new format, or would you switch decks?
I'm gonna say that really, like, I would probably continue to play it solely because it's fun. Again, like, the only other deck I would consider playing would be, like, Lugia Bats, maybe, because I love Lugia. But otherwise, like, I probably would keep playing it. Like, the only thing that would really tempt me away from that would be if there was just 1,000,001 silent labs all around me as I was, like, trying to get my deck ready, and then I'm like, no. But again, that's like that. It's like Silent Lab. It's like you got the one Rough Seas that can knock it out. But other than that, it's like it's a speed build, so it's not built to counter stuff like that. It's just built to go from 0 to 60 in one turn. And it's pretty much that's just kind of how I play the game. So it's really fitted to my play style.
Okay. Well, do you want to give any shout outs to anybody?
I would say Dion the Baller Lunsford. He doesn't really go by the Baller anymore. Anyone who's seen my channel has seen the Baller. For those of you who don't know, that is Dion Lunsford. Carl Shue, Kevin Baxter, Natalie Champagne, and Nick Bailey. I will be making another donation to Nick Bailey since I can't make his open tournament or whatever that Natalie's running, so I'm going to just mail in an entry fee as a donation for him. Stay strong, dude. For real.
Yeah.
And, just kind of all of the local player base that have helped me practice. Ian Teague, Ashley Fuentes, just everyone around here who's been helping me out. I appreciate all you guys. And Justin Bookter as well for playing the Mega Rayquaza match with me for my channel, because that was awesome.
Yeah. Alrighty, man. Well, thank you so much for doing this, and good luck at Nationals and Worlds.
Thank you very much. Good luck to you, too.
Alrighty, buddy. Take care.
Cheers.